up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy D Dyson. My best top 10 movies of 2023. Nobody else's, mine's. And we're here with another top 10. Now, I have some movies that I feel like should be on this list, as I'm going to go see tonight, which is Iron Claw, and I feel like it would have been on this list. But I haven't seen it yet, so I can't add that. So with that being said, number 10, Gran Turismo. I loved every bit of it. The fact that it was based on a true story, and the story was definitely heartfelt. I tell myself about this story of a young kid that we all play Gran Turismo if you play PlayStation, but he just kept at it, was really, really good at it, knew the track, got a chance in real life to do it, and he really did it and lived up to it. Yeah, that was major. Had heartfelt moments in it because it was that underdog story, and he really came out on top, and I loved every bit of it. Number 9, Creed 3. Jonathan Majors did his thing, and it sucks that in the height of all his success as far as movies with Creed 3, Devotion, and Ant-Man and Quantumania, kind of everything just took a turn for him in this year, but he really did his thing in 2023 as far as Creed 3 and Michael B. Jordan's first time directing, and he really did a good job. He added the anime kind of esque type scene when they're fighting, and the buildup was just immense. And I loved them fighting. I was like, yeah, this was definitely a good time in the movies to watch. Number 8, John Wick Chapter 4. I watched half of John Wick in the movie because I came late, but I watched it again when it came out streaming, and I love the continuation of the story. And like I said, the bodies was dropping, and Keanu Reeves is definitely in that mood where he just drop it like he's really, really going. I like the action in it. Like I said, the story, how it just ties everything together. And I really love Keanu Reeves when he's in the suit and he's shooting. It's always going to be, I feel like that trilogy 4 classic movie. Wait till like 2030 when we're all like, what's a classic movie to watch? John Wick chapters 1 through 4. This is definitely one for the books. Number 7, Killers of the Flower Moon. Now, people was talking about how long it is, but Martin Scorsese, this is cinema. I loved it. Leonardo DiCaprio did his thing. Lena, I forgot her last name, also did her thing. Robert De Niro did the thing. You just see how shady people are, especially how shady Caucasians were when it came to this oil, that they were trying to really get their hands on it because they felt like no one else deserved it but them. So highlighting that, seeing it, and just watching it was like, God dang, this was something to really watch. And I loved every bit of it because it was like, this would really happen. And this is crazy that it happened, that you just see a lot. And I loved like the performances in here, especially with Leonardo DiCaprio and Lena, whatever. I forget her last name, I really do. But I love this movie. This movie was from start to finish. I was like, yeah, although it's long, but you can tell that it was the build up, and just seeing everybody, seeing how they were killing them was so messed up in a sense. But I loved watching it. Number 6, Godzilla -1. I had to go to the movies for this because I was like, it's not in any streaming, and I loved how this traditional original Godzilla story from the 1940s after World War II spawned at Godzilla, and how angry and pissed off he was. Man, I can't wait for part 2 because you know it's coming. I can't say enough about this movie that I really love watching this movie. I just wish that it was English dubbed, but nevertheless, that doesn't take anything away from this movie. Such a low budget, but the CGI worked really, really, really well with a low budget, and I loved every minute of it. Number 5, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And to say that this is the last Guardians of the Galaxy that we're going to get from James Gunn, Jesus, at the helm, I love the story. It was really heartfelt. I really felt more sympathetic with Rocket, especially when the hand was going to grab him. I was like, man, I'm not a huge animal lover, but that also touched me. Like, dang, that is really messed up at what you're doing. But like I said, the story of family in here was so potent, and we've got that last Guardians of the Galaxy spin around, go to slow-mos, doing their traditional moves. Like, we finally got a end piece of that, and it worked so well. Number 4, Mission Impossible: Day of Reckoning. Man, my anxiety was going up in that movie, and just watching it. And as they were in the airport, I was like, what the hell? And it just, from there on, I was like, this movie is really good. Tom Cruise, top of his game in his 50s, still doing these crazy stunts, jumping off the cliff. I was like, bruh. But I cannot wait for Day of Reckoning Part 2, because this really brought back cinema, really, action movies. Tom Cruise at the height of his career, if that really makes sense. To me, he had 2 back-to-backs. Last year was Top Gun. This year was Mission Impossible, and I really loved it. Number 3, Oppenheimer. Cillian Murphy really drove this home, from just the looks on his face of, man, I'm doing something. Like, you just seen the heavy toll weighed on Robert Oppenheimer, and how the media scrutinized him for his belief system, all of it. Like, he did such a marvelous job in this movie. And Robert Downey Jr. also did a marvelous job too, because you didn't know who was really plotting against Robert Oppenheimer. But then again, and then at the end, it was like, oh, wow. To add Albert Einstein in here, and then to actually see the bomb recreated, I was kind of like, that is in itself so dope. But it brought out bigger topics and bigger stories watching this. A lot of people was like, man, it's all dialogue. I was here for it. I miss movies where you had a high dramatization with barely any action. It's just all dialogue. I loved it. Truly loved it. Number 2, Super Mario Bros. And I didn't think, when I watched it, I was like, I didn't know what to expect. But when we watched it, oh my gosh, this movie is so good. I'm still watching it on Netflix right now, because it is that good. It is that good. And I'm telling myself, yes, we definitely need a part 2, because Peaches definitely should have got nominated for a Grammy and for an Oscar. But yeah, this is definitely a classic. So before I get into number 1, we do got some honorable mentions. It's not really by ranking, but I just got 5. So number 5, Flamin Hot. I really love Flamin Hot. The fact that I really cried. I was like, this really brought tears to my eyes. Another underdog story. When you couldn't do it, he coming from the depths of LA, where, you know, gang culture, everything involved, you know, going the wrong way. Started from a janitor, worked his way up type of thing, and really got what he made into pop culture and really became a phenomenon. Nothing short of, my gosh, that made me cry. Literally. Number 4, Air. The story of how Nike got Michael Jordan. Also, really, Matt Damon's speech alone. I feel like the whole buildup was for Matt Damon's speech at the end, of really how they got Michael Jordan into Nike. Was something that I was like, man, I may have to do a reaction just to that speech, because that speech was so heartfelt that I loved every minute of it. Number 3, Extraction 2. Chris Hemsworth started off the new year with a high action-packed, really good Extraction 2, followed from Extraction 1. I was telling myself, yeah, when it comes to sequels, it's not really good. This was really good. And I cannot wait for a Extraction 3, because we definitely deserve it. I think that this is going to be an underrated action movie, but give it another 5 to 10 years, people are going to be saying, watch Extraction, because it is that good. Number 2, they cloned Tyrone. I love the social commentary in here, the political commentary in here, the wit, the comedy from Jamie Foxx and Tiana Parrish. And I was just kind of like, man, this was such a good ass movie. I had watched it like 3 times because how good it was. Truly. This is probably like the first movie I watched all year that I really watched more than once in its entirety, because I was like trying to work on and watch so many other things. But this definitely was it, and I loved every bit of it. Number 1 honorable mention is The Covenant. Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, man, oh my gosh. Action-packed, it felt like Call of Duty, but then it turned into a rescue, trying to really rescue, and man, it was anxiety through the roof, nail biting through the roof. I was just sitting there like, oh my gosh, are they going to make it? Are they going to make it? Are they going to make it? And my gosh, we get a good ending, and based on a true story as well. And I was telling myself, man, very, very compelling. If you guys haven't watched Guy Ritchie's The Covenant, you definitely should. With that being said, number 1 of my top best movies of 2023 is, of course, SpiderMan Across the Spider-Verse. Everything that we needed in a superhero movie, everything when I talk about emotion, action-packed, great story, great build-up of characters, everything. It wasn't to me just a superhero movie, as probably one of the best superhero movies of all time, other than The Dark Knight. This had everything that I wanted in just a movie. Like, I was heavily fixated, and I don't really do animated movies like that, but Super Mario Brothers, I really went, and then it was Spider-Man, and I was like, oh my gosh, this was so good, and I cannot wait for the third one, where I feel like in the third one, we're really going to cross him over into our, like, a live action, because he's in the multiverse. Now we know that it's a multiverse. This is going to be helmed as one of the best superhero movies of all time. Definitely probably top 5 or top 10 for sure. And that's why I was telling myself, this is my number 1 for 2023 in regards to all movies. Now, like I said, there was things that I could have watched. I watched Barbie. It really wasn't for me. Although they did a tremendous amount of good when it comes to successful movies of the year. Promotion was on that, was crazy. But these top 10 and honorable mentions, I was like, man. And I'm going to watch Iron Claw today, which I feel like it should be in my top 10 movies because of the emotional weight behind it. Plus, I know the backstory behind it. I also want to watch Wonka as well. But these top 10 is for 2023. So, you guys enjoyed my review, or my best top 10 of 2023 of movies of, well, my best top movies of 2023. Strike that, reverse it. Yeah. Subscribe to my channel, post a comment down below, and like the video. It's your boy, D Dyson. Peace.